Hi again there, Tyler here from Seller Accountant, and we're in the middle of a series trying to kind of combine the concepts of SKU level profitability and cash flow, or raising cash or capital for your business. They seem like they're different. They're the same topic because one impacts the other so heavily. Now, what we did in the first video is we kind of defined profitability by, I walked you through this P&L that I'm showing on the screen here. We ultimately got to the bottom where it was a post-advertising gross profit number. What I want to do in this video is really answer the question, how do I spot underperforming SKUs? How do I see whether a SKU is a winner or a loser? And in order to do that, a couple things I'll show you. One is you can go into Amazon if you happen to be an Amazon heavy seller, and you can hover over reports, click on fulfillment reports, and then down along the left-hand side here you can pull up your fee preview report. Let me show you what this looks like. Your fee preview report is a really cool report because it gives you a lot of really cool information about your products, what you're pricing them at, what the Amazon fees are, and that kind of thing. All right, what I've done on this particular fee preview report is I've gone in and I'm actually going to hide some of the columns, because what we're going to do is we're going to do some cool stuff with this fee preview report. We're going to hide some of the stuff that we don't care about. We're going to really focus on what we are selling the product for. We're going to focus on what our Amazon estimated total fees are. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add some columns. So what I've done is I've gone and I've grabbed my cost of goods sold per unit. Now I'm estimating here at 55%. You're going to put your actual cost of goods sold landed per unit here. And that's going to give you a gross profit, right? I can see my GP margin. These are columns that I've added for this client. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually grab how much on average I spend on advertising. This can be a trickier metric to grab the data and really understand it. If you have to make an assumption early on, I've done a 10% ad budget here. You may want to choose to do something that's more dialed in with the data. But basically what this allows you to calculate is on a given product, what is my post-advertising gross profit? How profitable, how happy am I every single time I sell one of these units? Get it as a percentage. And then I have to go back and do even more work within Seller Central and really understand how many of these did I sell in the last month. If I've only sold a couple, then even though I might be really happy on a percentage standpoint, ultimately this particular top product, while it's a good product, is not a killer product. But the second product here, and this is the reason I want to bring this up to you, is actually what we've discovered is not only is it our fastest moving product, we've sold 1,250 units here through the last 30 days, but oh my goodness, after advertising, we're losing $1.24 for every unit we sell. It's really, really important that we have this data in front of us so that we can pivot and make some changes to our strategy, or we can get rid of the unit. We can change things if we know what it is. So again, the first question is, how to identify the losers? You've got to grab information. You've got to build it all the way out per product to the PAG level. I want to understand what my profitability is after advertising so that I can actually see it in bloody detail. Okay, I've got a few losers. I've got a few that, this one's making me money, but barely. You see, I estimated more advertising here. I'm spending so much on advertising that this one's only 5%. That's not going to work at scale. And so I can try to figure out which products are actually making me money. And let me just say this, for almost every CFO client that Seller Accountant has ever served, there almost is always one or two losers. There's just generally seems to be kind of a hidden product that you thought was going to win, or you thought you needed it to drive sales in other products. And until you do this kind of analysis, it is very, very challenging to really identify those losers and get rid of them. And so a couple of other tools you may want to look at is Helium 10 and Managed by Stats, Selix, Seller Legend. There's 100 tools out there that do good dashboarding. I just happen to kind of like Helium 10 and Managed by Stats for a couple of different reasons. Let me show you this here. First of all, for Helium 10, if you go into the profit dashboard and then go into products, I can actually look over a given period of time at each of the product blends within Amazon, which is really kind of awesome. And I can even click over here and see what my P&L is per product. Also very, very awesome. One of the downsides to this Helium 10 one is that it doesn't really break out these expenses very much. It doesn't show me what expenses were Amazon fees versus cost of goods sold. I actually have to click here and kind of get the explanation. That would be a nice feature to have added. Managed by Stats, the report looks a little bit different. It's a little bit goofier user experience here, but my ability to determine which brands I want to tease out and then download that data into a really nice granular CSV. Let me show you what that CSV looks like here. Here it is. Here's the CSV that I that I brought down for this particular set of products. One product, a good product, the second one, another product, and I'm able to see what we sold in a given period of time, what our Amazon fees were. I can see what my cost of goods sold are because I was able to load up that value per unit. I can see what my actual ad costs were, which gives me a pretty good estimate of what my overall tacos or ad percentage of sales is. And then I can give myself kind of what I think is an estimated profitability or PAG number here, really, really helpful. And so for that reason, for the fact that you can kind of slice and dice into product and brand level within Managed by Stats is a really handy feature. What I would say to you, though, is you need to pick the software partner that already fits another need of yours. If you're using one of them for a refund manager or using one of them for, other AdWords or keywords or that kind of thing, don't go buy a separate dashboard. Generally, your CFO partner, or if that's you, can use the data that's already being grabbed and kind of manipulate it to give you what you need. But those are two that I wouldn't recommend to you, is Helium 10 or Managed by Stats. Or if you want to do it the old school way, just go to Fulfillment Reports and pull that fee preview report. You're going to have to do some manual work here. But frankly, if you only have 20 SKUs, this may not be a big deal. Do it a couple times a year. Make sure you understand what the actual profitability, what the PAG per SKU is, so that you can take action on it. And so what do you do? What are the 3 actions you could possibly take? I think the other part of this is the question is, how do I spot underperformers? But then what do I do about them? And there are a couple of different options. One is you can de-emphasize. For instance, if I realize that I'm spending a 10% ad budget on a product like this one right here that is losing me $1.25 every time I sell them, I'm going to actually turn down that ad budget for those particular keywords that I'm trying to rank for, because I'm going to be okay if I only sell 1,000 of these, but I sell them profitably, right? And so I can make some tweaks. That's the first thing you can do. You can choose to apply your precious capital to other products. So I might say, oh, wow, if I'd have known how profitable this top SKU was here, I might have taken some of the ad budget from the one that's not profitable and put it there. So in other words, you can up your spend and up your strategic value of a particular product, so you can emphasize the winners and de-emphasize the losers. But then on an extreme level, if you've tried that, if you've already tried to lower your ad budget, say for a particular SKU, you may just have to cut bait and run. And I think one of the most important decisions that brand builders within Amazon or any other e-commerce ecosystem, one of their most important decisions is when to cut bait, when to leave, when to stop wasting money on a product that's not really making any money for us. And it's a big deal, but you got to make the hard decision. Sometimes you can't treat the products like they're your babies. They've got to be products. And so when that time comes, you just have to cut bait. You got to be done with the product and move your precious capital into more profitable products. In the final video here that you guys will see next week, I'll talk about how that profitability per SKU analysis that we've done here actually impacts my strategy for raising cash for my business. For right now, though, you guys have a great week. Take care.